Okay. Let's see. Internet marketing. Let me see if I have this file handy. I may not. 2010 internet marketing. So let me see if I can do this simpler. What we have, the concept. This always works better when I have a marker board or a pen, but the concept has to do with internet marketing. Is you have a site that in internet parlance, marketing speak, is called the money site. Right? And so the money site is the site that people can go to and do something that would result in you getting paid. Now, the two actions that people are most likely to take that would result in you getting paid is one, they'll set up a search for properties, or two, they'll ask what their home is worth. There are other things that you could do in a money site. So if there's a property search, home value, and then there's what I stole this from somebody else, um, freemiums, right? Freemiums, and so it's a free premium something. And what freemiums do is you would be offering them a free report, a free this, a free that, and that would end up in lead capture, right? So they would have to fill out a form in order to get what you want. The thing that all of these three have in common is that they fill out forms. So now that we've identified the site, and the site may be pieces of a site, it could be your eAgency site or it could be your eEdge site. What we now have to do is to drive traffic, right? And the ways in which we could do that, one would be social media. And social media would be LinkedIn, it would be Twitter, Facebook. Those are the three big ones: LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook. There's a bunch of other things that qualify. YouTube qualifies as social media. But that would be one. By the way, blogging traditionally qualifies as social media. Now, if what many real estate agents do on LinkedIn, and I don't know about this one in particular that you're referring to, is they find an article in the San Jose Mercury, the Wall Street Journal, or something like that, and they post it on LinkedIn. That's nice, I guess. But if somebody clicks on the article, where do they end up going? They end up going to the Wall Street Journal or the San Jose Mercury. Is that the agent's money site? And the answer is no, that's not their money site. There's no lead capture. There's nothing the client can do. They can take no action. This, by the way, is the most common misunderstanding, and I would call screw up. Can I use that phrase? That people that are doing social media are doing is all they're doing is promoting other people's websites, right? Which does not, if you were in an internet marketing class, they'd be scolding you, because the whole idea is you drive people to the website you want people to go to, right? That's the whole idea. So, for example, what I do, some of you may have seen my stuff, is when I post things for the real estate school or my recruiting stuff, I post it on my WordPress site. And then my WordPress site syndicates it out to LinkedIn, to Twitter, to my Facebook page and my Facebook profile. But if you click on one of my posts, and this isn't always true, sometimes I just post an article for fun, right? Because I'm too lazy to actually write something. But if somebody clicks on my Facebook post, where they end up is on my money site. They end up on the website that I want people to go to, right? So that's if you can, and the only good thing about posting stuff on LinkedIn that's in the San Jose Mercury or the Wall Street Journal or the New York Times or all that, the only value in that is that people might say, oh, that's an interesting article. Sylvia has an interesting article. I'm going to share and I'm going to like Sylvia's interesting article. Isn't that interesting? Right? And that may or may not help Sylvia at some point in the future, but I think Sylvia would rather they go to her webpage. Now, the reason for blogging is that blogging is sort of a stepping stone to the money site. So what you're going to find is that in eAgency and eEdge and those kinds of websites, you have a limited ability to write a bunch of unique content, right? In other words, they're not set up as a platform where you could say what's going on in Gilroy this week. It's not set up that way. So what you can do is you can create a blog, and in the blog you could say what's happening in Gilroy, talk about life in Gilroy, real estate in Gilroy, everything that's going on in Gilroy that you think is interesting, so that people in Gilroy may go to the blog, and then on the blog you have a button that says, want to search for homes in Gilroy, click here, want to find out what your home is worth, click here, want a list of all the first-time home buying programs in Santa Clara County, click here.
So you had to create buttons.
Buttons.
By having active links in the blog.
Right. So this is one of the blogs. None of these are my money blog. My money blog is my real estate school blog, which is where I spend most of my time because it makes money for me. And people actually go there and they do things for which I get paid. So let's say Sylvia, and Sylvia, I'm just using, well, I think I've logged into Jennifer's page, okay, just because I had to log into somebody's. So let's say Jennifer, there's two different ways of doing this. One is the eEdge website or the eAgency website. One of them uses Market Leader's search engine and one uses WoofNet. Just for fun, I'm going to click on the eAgency site because I'm going to do a couple of fun things. Doesn't that sound like fun? A couple of fun things. Now, I had promised to talk.
Sorry.
That's okay. What this is the eAgency website admin tool. And one of the things we can do, there's a thing about here about lead generation. That's not so useful. We click on 4.0, and there's a thing called 4.4, which is the WoofNet back office. And I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to click on log in. And this is an area that many agents have never gone. We're going where few Keller Williams agents have gone before. We're going into the WoofNet back office. Now, the problem is it's asking for Jennifer's back office login, which I do not have. And it's probably not the same as the login for, it's not the same as her regular login. And so we would have to go through that. And I'm not prepared to do that right now. Right. So if you get to that and you would like help, let me see. If I click on this, maybe, how many of you, maybe I ought to do this just so that you'll know what to do if you get here. How about that? What? I've done James Enos's also. So what is your, to log in, Jennifer?
To the MLS.
No. Here, I'll get it up here. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to go there. Now I have to find you. There we go. Wait, I saw it. Jay Strange. All right, that's okay. So Jay Strange is your, and I'm gonna click. We may not do all this right now. So, Jay Strange, maybe I've got you in the system. So I'll explain. So now you have to find our MLS and click on login. Now let's say when you click on WoofNet back office, you get to this and you have no idea what to do. What you should start off by doing is putting the login name and password that you logged into kw.com and select California MLS listings. And then click on login. And if it doesn't work, like it just didn't work, if it doesn't work, because this is a separate login, we've left Keller Williams and we're in WoofNet territory, click on forgot your password, and you put in your email address or login name, which is JSTRANGE, and then we have to tell it which one we're in. And I'm going to show you a workaround, but at some point, for us to really do anything, we're going to have to, and so it's emailed the password to us. Click on login.
Okay. All automatic.
All right, now I'm going to show you a workaround, but at some point we need to be able to get into the back office. Okay? At some point we need to get into the back office. And so what has happened is they've emailed Jennifer a secret password. Okay, now let's say so one of the goals, why don't we do this in the next week, is everyone, what I would like you to do is to log in to the WoofNet back office.
Well, I don't even have a name in there.
Well, you have to put in the username that you log into kw.com with.
Oh,
And then,
There's the password.
right, 6,
okay.
capital Z, AH. I didn't tell everybody your whole thing, and I just put it in the wrong place.
That's okay.
So, there we go. I have a bunch of these. I do happen to have Rick's. I should have stick with Rick. Should have been mine. But it's good. You need to learn how to do this. All right, and let's hopefully that this is going to work. No, so
Oh, because it's on.
what does it say? STRANGE. So let me try this again. And all right. Ta-da. And by the way, have I ever mentioned that I use a program called LastPass? Have I ever mentioned that?
Yes.
And so this is called MLS Finder, and I'm going to type in JSTRANGE. So the next time I go here, I can log in without having to worry about it. All right, LastPass remembers passwords. Right, and you're going to find people say, why do I have so many passwords? Well, the problem is that you have eEdge and Market Leader and eAgency and WoofNet, and there's just a lot of different websites you need to log into. So now that we're here, and by the way, I don't know why I was doing all this, but now that we're here, notice one of the links is called Property Search URLs. And so there's a link here that says this link is for searching the MLS. And if we, first of all, what I'm going to do is highlight this. There's actually a madness in my method. Wait a second, that's not right. So, so Sylvia has logged in. I said she's one of the adapters. So what this link does is it takes us to this search where people could search any of these counties. They could search any of these areas. They could do all these searches. Now, what that link is a link that Jennifer could use on her blog or other places. And having said this, I have to admit I don't like the link. All right. And what I don't like about the link is that notice it has all the counties, and what we would probably like to have is Santa Clara County, and then notice it has the cities in Santa Clara County. Now, I am recording this, and I'll put this on the YouTube channel because people find this. The hardest part is logging into WoofNet's back office. So what we're going to do is scroll down to the bottom, and you're going to see what this has to do with blogging. And we're going to go to what's called URL Search Builder. See that right down at near the bottom, on the bottom left. And it gives us this string, and right now there's 6,618 listings. That's in the multiple listing service. And I'm going to click on county, and I'm going to go down to Santa Clara, and what that's going to do is it's changed it to 2,486. And see this search string up here? I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to click on save. And I have to give it a name, and I'm going to call this Santa Clara County Listings. And I'm going to click on OK. Now, the value of this is, now that I've copied that, that's going to give me a search string. And you'll notice what looks a little bit different from the one we did before, the default one. is that notice it starts with Santa Clara County as the default, and it's listing cities that people might actually recognize rather than the numbers and other stuff that's at the beginning. Now, if somebody said, well, what if they don't want to search Santa Clara County? They could click on the drop down box and search something else, right? So I like personally that search box better. Does everybody
Can you make it more compressed?
by city?
Yeah.
Sure. So I'm going to show you. I'm going there. All right. So now we have. Let's assume Jennifer was blogging, and you've logged in from another location. You want? Yeah, I want to log in again. What?
I don't.
No, it's okay. But let's assume Jennifer wanted to. This is simply for display purposes only. What I'm going to do is I'm going to, and she's created a blog. I've created a blog called the San Jose Real Estate Market Report. But let's say Jennifer's decide to farm farms in San Martin, right? It's going to be her new niche. What we can do is we're going to add a gadget. We're going to add a gadget. And before we do this, we want a picture. I think I probably have one that will work. And we want an image. And so,
John Deere.
what?
John Deere.
No, the image is going to be, I'm going to call it, I'm going to Google search find a home. I'm just going to Google search that phrase, and I'm going to click on images. So you see all these little images? So let's say that this one, right? Now, you could spend a lot of time. Notice this one is an image taken from our Keller Williams thing, right? So I'll show you this one, and this is going to be weird, but I'm going to do it because I feel weird today. So I'm taking this find a home image, which I stole from Google Images, and it wants me to go back here. So I'm going to just put this someplace where I can find it. Although it's good for you to create a folder where you have all these images. And so what I'm going to do now is I've added a gadget. Here's my add a gadget. And one of the gadgets, I'm going to scroll down, and I'm going to pick on image, and I'm going to click on that. And it wants a title, and I'm going to call it Dream Home Finder. That's what I used to call mine. And so I'm going to keep, and then that really long search string, I'm going to put in, and I'm going to find a home image, and I'm going to have it shrink to fit once it's done uploading it, and I'm going to hit save. I'm going to hit save, and now let's view, assuming this was Jennifer Blog. You see that? Dream Home Finder, find a blog. What happens if somebody clicks on it? Where do they end up going? They end up going to the search string. Now,
if they click on something, it's going to become a contact in your EAD site.
Yes. Well, what I've done, just to be ironic or moronic, anyhow, what I've done is the image that I used. The image that I use is actually the market leader eEdge Find a Home, but I sent it to the WoofNet Find a Home just for giggles, right?
But if you click on something, you're going to capture it, right?
Well, at this point, yes. If I fill this out, the either WoofNet or eEdge, if somebody fills out the form, it goes into the same backend system. Right. The only reason I'm doing this is some people like this better than some people like this search better than the market leader search. Right. Some people like it better. All right. So, but if Jennifer's other website is called Sweet. Now the problem, Jennifer has masked her URL. What that means is that sweethomesanjose.com is her URL, and she's forwarded her URL with masking. And the problem with that is that notice what happens when I click on buy, it still says Sweet Home San Jose
Oh.
because, and that's not the real URL. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in her real URL, which is jenniferstrange.kwrealty.com. And now when I click on buy, notice what it does in the URL. It has the word search. So if I copied that link, and by the way, if I copied that link and I went back here to this, see this little tool sign here, edit? And if I said, well, I don't want it to go to the WoofNet one, I want it to go to this one. So I've just put in that other search string. And so now that would be a better, I was just goofing around, because when somebody clicks on this, what they're going to see is something that looks like where they started from.
Nice. Yeah.
Right? So could I also do this for find out what your home is worth? Right? So I could say find out. So I would go to Google and what is my home worth? I'm going to just click on that. I'm going to click on images. I'm going to find an image. What is my home worth? Right? You can spend some time. That one looks like something Jennifer would like. The goofy, maybe not. So I would just find one. My home is worth what? How about that one? That one looks like fun. I save the image as, put it someplace where I can find it. I make sure I've copied. Notice this one now says sell. So I've copied that. I go to my blog. I add a gadget. All right. And I'm going to go to image. Find your home value. Type in the link. Click on browse. My home is worth what? Shrink to fit. This gets easier after you've done this a few hundred times. And we now view the blog. And we view the blog. Come on. How about this? Show me the blog. My home is worth what? Dream Home Finder.
So now every time that you add content, it's going to have that on the right side. Or
Sure.
you do that every time?
It has it on every time. I can add pages and tell Google, which is I'm using Google's blogging system, that I don't want the sidebar on that page. But anything that is added to here, that sidebar stays there forever. Right? What other things could we add?
This month in real estate.
No, that sends them to your, you could do that. What other pictures with a link would we add?
Us and our site.
Well, these are all going to your site. Does anybody have a mobile app?
Yep.
How about the mobile app?
Yep.
Right. So, right. And so the mobile app, do you think we can find an image if we were to go to Google and type in KW MOBILE mobile app? If we typed in KW mobile app and then we clicked on images, is anybody seeing a pattern in what I'm doing? Right. And so search homes on the go, search on the go. Find one you like, right? So let's say you like that one. We right click, we save the image as, we call this KW MOBILE search, and we save it. Now, where is this? Well, remember back here in our Keller Williams eAgency, the mobile search is 4.5. So we need this, we need that, we need that. And then we go back to our blog, back to the blog, add a gadget. We go down to where we find image, add it. The image things are the easiest to do. paste it in, browse, open, shrink to fit, save, view the blog, someplace, review the blog, come here, let's see, come on. All right, now what we are doing is, remember, this is still related to the money site, right? And what we're doing is, and you can rearrange the orders. Everybody see how easy this would be? Let's say I said, well, I want the about me to be first, right? That's agents say stuff like that. I would probably, the most common thing people are going to do is search for a home. I would put mobile app with that because those are home searches. Find your home's value is a longer shot. About me. So do you see how easy that was? I could just, yeah, you know, I could put them at the bottom of the page, but I want them, that's called the sidebar. I click on save arrangement. And so the idea is that when I'm blogging and people go to my blog, I still want them to go to the money sites, right? Because I want them to do something where they're going to end up in my eAid system so that I can do stuff with them. Right, and so that this is the way to do that.
Okay, I thought the sidebar was going to be rearranged. It looks the same as before.
Because I didn't refresh the page.
Okay.
All right. Does everybody now the blogging. Let's go back here to the. Remember this WoofNet. Let's say that. Jennifer was focusing on, let's see, what do we have here? We have commercial, industrial, lots and land. How about this? She wants to do the South County, right? That's just.
Hey, that's why you took my seat here.
And it's not allowing me, why is it doing all this?
I have to tell Patrick, he's in the South County too.
My computer seems to have locked up, but of course it has. Of course it has. And I know Mike is enjoying herself because my computer's locked up. Let's see. Am I logged into somebody else? Boy, it's just all of a sudden slowed down to a crawl. All right, now what I want to do is I want to get out of this page. I'm going to go back down here to URL Search Builder and see if it lets me redo this. All right, so let's say that let's say Sylvia is doing this. I really need this page to redraw. I really need the page to redraw. All right, let me, I really need it to redraw. There we go. I needed to, all right, so I'm going to stand, now it looks better. So let's say Sylvia, and I notice I've everything. Sylvia doesn't care. I'll use Sylvia as an example. Gilroy. Well, all right, how about this? Let's say Sylvia is writing a blog post about the one condo in Gilroy. All right. So, or how about this? Condos in the South County. How about that?
Yeah.
So, what I've noticed, I've highlighted Gilroy, Hollister. I hold down and Morgan Hill, and San Martin. And I click on add and I move them over. Now, when I do this reset, what it's now doing, it's giving me a link. And so I just want you to see what this link looks like. It's giving me a link of, there are, wow. Let me go back here. Apparently it didn't give me the link I wanted. I have to go back here to Santa Clara County. I reset the whole thing. So I did that just so you could see. So let's say condos. She's writing an article about condos and townhomes in the South County. So I highlight Gilroy and Hollister, Morgan Hill.
All this is in San Benito County.
Well, okay. All right. You happy now? And does our MLS include San Benito County?
Yeah, rest from
Oh, whatever. Say that 5 times. So there are 540 matches, right? 540 matches. I think Morgan Hill probably has most of those. And so these are all active listings. And so what I want to do is if I click on save and I call this, and I will show you, Jennifer, how to delete these later. So I'm going to call this South County Condos. I'm just going to call it that. I'm going to click on OK. Saving is an important part. I copy this, and now when I go here and I paste it in, it's showing me the condos. There's actually only 22 because once we saved it, it got rid of all the other ones. So they're almost all Morgan Hill. So here are all the condos. So let's say Sylvia is writing a blog post about buying condos, buying townhomes. One of the things that she could do is in her blog post, she could have some language where she said, let me get back here. So I'm going to go here to, so she could say, interested in a South County condo or townhome. Click here to see all active listings, right? And so I would highlight the whole thing. I would click on the link button. I would paste in the link and click on OK. That's now a hyperlink. And so when somebody, I'm going to click on save and preview. And what happens is when somebody, the links don't work in preview. All right. So I'm going to save and close. If I publish it, it goes on all my different, And so that link works. You have to trust me. I don't want to go through publishing it. That link works. And so do you understand that if you're writing articles about something, you could include in it a link? Now, one of the things that I would notice, I highlighted the whole thing. Let me just
used to do that manually with href.
right. Well, to see all active listings in Morgan Hill for condos and townhomes. Click here. All right. Now, what you want to do is you want to highlight the whole thing to put in the link, not just the click here. You want to highlight the whole thing.
Why?
And the reason is that this is called, does anybody know what we call the text that we've inserted a link into? Do you know? I'm looking at Micah because she's the what? She's the best bet for knowing. It's with an A. It's called anchor text. Anchor text. And so anchor text is the text that the link is anchored to. Now, when Google is deciding on whether or not your link is any good, it looks at the anchor text. And if all you do is anchor click here, Google says, well, your link means click here. And that does not tell Google very much about your link. All active home listings, I should have made all active home listings for condos and townhomes in Morgan Hill, San Martin, and Gilroy. Now, do you understand that text is way more descriptive? And when I anchor, that text, Google says, oh, that link means all active listings. So if somebody is searching, I want to search for all the active listings in Morgan Hill, San Martin, and Gilroy, and Google says, wow, Sylvia's got a link that says exactly that, much more likely for it to show up. The mistake, another mistake people make is they only anchor click here. Right?
Yep.
Right, they only anchor click here, and what does that mean to Google? By the way, people do this just in internet marketing for fun. If you Google search the term click here, right? So that Adobe Reader always wins. I'm just saying Adobe Reader always wins because more people click on the Adobe Reader click here button than any other button, right? So is this where we want to be? Competing with PayPal, Apple QuickTime, and Adobe Reader, right? That's what you get for click here.
So then be as specific as you can in your link.
You want to include what are called keywords, and keywords are the words that if I were in Gilroy and I were searching for something, what words would I be putting in? And those are the words you want. By the way, homes for sale in Gilroy. I'll just tell you what they are, right? If you do a lot of research on this, you're going to find homes for sale in Blossom Valley, homes for sale in Willow Glen, homes for sale in Cambrian, homes for sale in Morgan Hill. That's what you're going to find, right? That's the phrase that comes up most often. By the way,
So we want to use one of those.
we want to use those phrases as often as possible. If we were to simply go, I actually have lists of this someplace, but if we were to, rather than me forgetting to send you a copy of my list, if we were to just Google search real estate keywords, how about what? Real estate keywords. WordStream is a company that sells services for search engine optimization. And if we just clicked on this, what they do is I use a program called Keyword Spy, and this talks about different kinds of keywords and how often they're used. If we go back, I didn't want to go back to that. Real estate marketing, 100 great SEO keywords for realtors. Sample of real estate keywords from iHouse. Does everybody understand that these are not secrets? And so the words that people are searching for are the words you want to use.
Is that a paid site that 100 great SEO keywords?
Usually people, what they do is they give you the list of the keywords because you can find them yourself. And then they also want you to buy their services, right? And so selling a home. And so do you notice all the ads on the site? So and this, by the way, looks like this could be a WordPress site. Let me look at the bottom. Looks like it could be. Enterprise theme denies. Genesis Framework is a WordPress site. So this is a blog site. This, by the way, is an example of how the system works. We found it because we did a search. And they had an article that had what we wanted. And notice they have marketing products, social media posting, social media setup, website design. They have some free marketing tools, which are lead capture. I'll bet you have to tell them who you are in order to get any of these. You understand what they've done? They've actually posted something that we were looking for, and we ended up on their blog. And on their blog, they have links to stuff that they sell, and they have lead capture things.
So I could put the Red Career link on my blog and put
Red Careers, yes.
That was the other thing.
Another one, Red Careers. So and how would you find this if we typed in KW Real Estate Career, and I misspelled it, but I like Google because and then we click on images. We find career night images, new career, become a Keller Williams agent. That one looks good. How about
Put that as another gadget?
ready to learn more? Contact me about a career with Keller Williams. Get started now. That one doesn't. We never back down. I don't know. I've seen some of you back down. I'm not sure about that. So click here for KW career information. Does everybody? So do you understand? You find an image that you like, you download the image, you link it to your right.
Yeah, a question, Mike, can we go back to that phraseology? So is it important that, like, the homes for sale in Morgan Hill, the homes for sale in Gilbert, is it important to incorporate that phraseology into the phrase that you had given earlier of, search townhomes, condos?
Yes, it's important to use the keywords that people are searching for in your titles, in your articles, and even when you upload an image. Google does not, as far as I know, they're not reading images. The software to read an image does exist. Evernote and Facebook use it. In other words, so what I would also do is, I was for sake of time, when I downloaded the image, I just kept the name that it had. But when I upload the image, I would have renamed the image to say, search for homes in Gilroy, or home search, or something that might be a keyword that people would search for, so that when Google sees the image says homes for sale, your description, title, homes for sale, your article, homes for sale in Gilroy, homes for sale in Gilroy, that gives them the idea that this is about homes for sale in Gilroy. And by the way, you can go too far if you just say, well, I'm going to repeat homes for sale in Gilroy every other sentence. Google, that's called keyword stuffing. And Google will get you, right? I've had people say, well, I'm going to just do that. Google has, last time I read, which is a few years ago, over 100 PhDs that work for them. And the idea that you're going to outsmart them, I would, there's safer bets, right? So if you overdo it, there's something called the Google slap, where they're going to say Sylvia's just stuffing the article with homes for sale in Gilroy, and we don't. She's trying too hard, and their conclusion will be, if you're trying too hard, you don't have real value.
Okay.
Right.
You mean, in other words, if your blog article contains every couple of paragraphs, homes for sale in Gilroy, links over and over again?
There are different theories. Google has just released a new version of Penguin, right? They have all these cute sounding names, Panda and Penguin and things like that. And these are actually evil little monsters that go around and lower people's website rankings. And there's just recently they upgraded Penguin. And so if you were to type in SEO, search engine optimization, how many keywords? How about this? How many times to repeat a keyword? You're going to see keyword repetition. Google says don't repeat keywords over and over again. Right? How many times repeat the exact keywords? And Moz, by the way, is a very famous group. What is keyword? So you could, the idea, rather than researching this, just use them as naturally as possible. But rather than just saying homes for sale, you might want to say Gilroy, homes for sale in Gilroy, or something like that. The more localized you make it, the better, right? So, for example, every time Sylvia writes a blog post about something in Gilroy, she could have a line that says, to search all available homes in Gilroy, click here. To find out what your Gilroy home is worth, click here. And hyperlink those in the text. Now, it's already on the sidebar, but hyperlinking it in the text adds more Google juice. By the way, if you want to take this up a notch, right? So you're doing I'm going to use Gilroy as an example. Let's say Sylvia goes out to dinner at a restaurant in Gilroy, and she likes the restaurant in Gilroy, and she has do you have video recording equipment?
Yeah, well.
Yeah, a cell phone.
Yeah.
right? Will your cell phone make a video?
Mhm.
So if you went up to the manager, owner of the restaurant, and you said, "This is a really great restaurant. I'm a real estate agent, and I have this blog about what's going on in Gilroy. Would you mind if I made a little video? Maybe would you like to say a few words about what you think is your value proposition? What is it that about your restaurant? What do you think they're going to say? Most of them, they're going to say sure.
I tried that with, the neighborhood of choice in Gilroy,
Right.
and people told me I cannot just interview because the kids wanted to say something in
Well,
the street name.
Whether or not you can do that, look at YouTube.
Yeah.
Right, I don't know. There are a lot of people going to jail. The idea is that you're supposed to get parents' permission before you record their children. We're talking about the manager of a restaurant, right? Rather than going around and interviewing people, right? Now that you're signing a release, the manager of the restaurant giving a little reason why he thinks his restaurant is a good restaurant probably doesn't require. Right, I think that's kind of safe. Right, and then could you write a little blog post? See, you might say, well, I already do Yelp and Foursquare, right? How does that send people to your website? Right, it doesn't. But if you had a blog post about things to do in Gilroy, right? Let's say you had a section, things to do in Gilroy, and every time you do something fun in Gilroy, you write about it in your blog. You understand? That's more. If all you do is write about real estate, it's much less effective. People are more interested in things to do in Gilroy, what's going on in Gilroy, fun in Gilroy, and oh yeah, by the way, we also, if you want to buy or sell a house.
Also a link to other groups like the backyard chickens. I got my first egg. I got a lot of.
So you link to other groups, and maybe they'll link to you. One of the things that Google looks at are other people that link to you. Right. Now, by the way, when you write, so you do something about what's going on in Gilroy, and then you share that on LinkedIn. Right. So now LinkedIn has a link to you. Now, it's really you having LinkedIn linked to you, but do you understand that's way different than you linking to the Gilroy Dispatch?
Yeah.
Right. Now, and we went through last week, how do you take an article from the Gilroy Dispatch and say, oh, there's a great article in the Gilroy Dispatch, and then, and you talk about it, and you post it on your blog. Was that?
Okay, another question. Going back to the string of keywords again. So those are so basic, like homes for sale in Gilroy, homes for sale in Morgan Hill. So like everybody is using those keywords. So how does traffic get directed to you and not to?
Not everybody is using homes for sale in Gilroy. Homes for sale, yes, homes for sale in California, but and so to repeat myself, if all you do is talk about real estate, you're going to have less traffic. If you talk about what's going on in Gilroy or Cambrian or Blossom Valley or Morgan Hill or something like that, you're much more likely to get traffic. Right, much more likely to get traffic, and because even Gilroy homes for sale. If we type in homes for sale in Gilroy, what are we up against? Who are we competing with? Well, let's see. We've got Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com, Homes.com, Redfin, Movoto, Zip Realty. This is California Moves is Coldwell Banker, Remax. Now, it's going to take a lot of work to knock one of those guys off the first page, right? Century 21 and Intero haven't made it, nor is Alon Panel. So do you understand? We got a ways to go before we're going to own that. But if we were to type in things to do in Gilroy. What are we doing? Well, we've got the Gilroy Welcome, TripAdvisor, Tourist, TripBuzz. We've got Groupon, TripBuzz. Notice TripBuzz is repeating itself. Hotel Planner, Yelp. Now, I can tell you some of these are going to be easier for us to knock off than Zillow and Trulia for homes for sale, right? Because TripAdvisor is already there so many times. And that's only because they're running out of good things they're running out of good things to put there. So there's 10 pages of this, 10 pages of things to do in Gilroy, which, by the way, is not a lot. It's not a lot because there's not a lot to do in Gilroy. Yeah. And so if we type in homes for sale in Gilroy, let's just see, we end up with 1,450,000 results, right? Which is a lot more than things to do. So, and by the way, this doesn't become there are 3 ways in which you can get people to go to your blog. One is they search for your content. That's called organic search. 2 is you can pay Google and other people to send people to your blog. And 3 is you can tell people to go to my blog. Right? Those are the 3 ways. And what and it doesn't take a lot necessarily to get results if your clients are doing it, if you're posting articles about real estate, what's going on in Gilroy,
But those are all paid sites, right?
Many of these are over here. People notice homes for sale in Gilroy. Look at all these paid ads.
Yeah.
Now, look at this. Things to do in Gilroy. Things to do in Gilroy. I just notice all the paid ads.
Yeah.
How many paid ads are there on things to do in Gilroy? That's not a paid ad. That's Google giving you, this is the Google thing about Gilroy. There are no paid ads for things to do in Gilroy. No, it's not. This is a Google thing.
Oh, okay.
This is just a Google thing.
So if you had a subject like that, and then you did do AdWords.
First of all, it won't cost very much because AdWords is based upon competition, right? The cost per click is based on competition. So if you're competing with Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com, Redfin, and Movoto for clicks, you might have to pay a lot. All right. Last time it's very homes for sale in anywhere is a very expensive click, but things to do in Gilroy, I bet, would not be. Now, right up here, Gilroy Gardens does have an ad. I'm sorry, there is one. I'm sorry, Gilroy Gardens does have an ad. My screen doesn't show it doesn't. So there's one ad over here. There's no side ads, which are less expensive. Only Gilroy Gardens is actually advertising. So you could get into this without, right?
Just out of curiosity, how about things to do in San Martin?
Well, there's just going to be, there's nothing to do in San Martin.
Rocco's, that's a good supermarket.
Rocco's Market.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. So was that good? Was that helpful? You don't lie. Was it? All right. So